After World War II, it was clear that the horrors of the war should never be allowed to occur again. Founded in 1945, the United Nations sought to prevent future atrocities by affirming, in its foundational charter, faith in fundamental human rights, the dignity and worth of the human person, and a commitment to promote better standards of life in larger freedom. In the years that followed, member states of the United Nations strived to develop the human rights provisions of the Charter and capture them in a single document. It took 3 years to agree on a common vision. On the 10th of December 1948, the General Assembly of the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a common standard of achievement for all peoples and all nations. The Declaration consists of a preamble and 30 articles, with Article 1 powerfully proclaiming that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. No discrimination, right to life, liberty and security, no slavery, no torture or cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment, equal protection of the law, no arbitrary arrest, detention or exile, fair and public hearing, no arbitrary interference with privacy, right to freedom of movement, right to seek and enjoy asylum, right to a nationality, right to marry and to found a family, right to property, freedom of thought, conscience and religion, freedom of opinion and expression, freedom of peaceful assembly and association, right to take part in government, right to work, right to rest and leisure, right to food, clothing, housing, medical care and social services, right to education, right to participate in cultural life. The Declaration has generated action for human rights protection in many ways. It has inspired hundreds of human rights instruments that together constitute international human rights law and a number of international bodies and mechanisms for human rights protection. The principles of the Declaration have supported the decolonization struggle and have been enshrined in the constitutions of the newly established countries which have joined the United Nations. The Declaration has inspired national and regional human rights protection systems, including legislation and institutions, and it continues to guide the work of human rights defenders and advocates worldwide. Today, the Declaration is available in more than 500 languages and dialects, and it has obtained the Guinness World Record for the most translated document in the world. The 10th of December, the day on which the Declaration was adopted, is celebrated each year as Human Rights Day. The Declaration emphasizes the relevance of human rights in our daily lives.
Respected Principal, beloved teachers and my dear friends, a warm good morning to all. I would like to speak a few words on Human Rights Day. December 10 is observed as Human Rights Day every year. It is to commemorate the event of Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, December 10 at Paris by UN General Assembly. On December 4, 1950, the United Nations General Assembly invited all its member states and other interested organizations to formally establish the Human Rights Day. It marks a massive milestone in the advancement of humanitarianism. It is not dependent on race, religion, language, or gender. Human rights can be defined as the right to liberty, equality, respect, and to live for any human being. The Declaration sets out worldwide and global values for all the people and all the country. India also sets up Human Rights Commission to protect and promote human rights in the nation. It came into being in the year 1993. The constitution of NHRC is in conformity with the principles of Paris. This is similar to most of human rights institutions in the whole world. This day is normally marked both by high-level political conferences, meetings, and by cultural events and exhibitions dealing with human rights issues. It is traditionally on December 10 that 5-yearly United Nations Prize in the field of human rights, Nobel Peace Prize, are awarded. Human rights theme for this year is Recover Better and Stand Up for Human Rights, which relates to the COVID-19 pandemic and focuses on the need to build back better and by ensuring human rights as the central to recovery efforts. We will reach our common global goals only if we are able to create equal opportunities for all, address the failure exposed and exploited by COVID-19, and apply human rights standards to tackle entrenched, systematic, and intergenerational inequalities, exclusion, and discrimination. Eleanor Roosevelt was an instrumental in drafting of UDHR, said that human rights should begin in small places close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world, yet they are the world of the individuals. The neighborhood he lives, the school or college he attends, the factory, farm or office he works. It is not necessary for everyone to become an activist, but it is important for everyone to be a defender of human rights. We need to stand up for our own rights and those of others. Thank you. Have a peaceful day.